Hello and welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the March reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for post notifications. This month, I will be using the Celtic Cross Tarot spread, and the first card that came out in the place of your current position is the Strength card. The Strength card is an indication that you are really in your realm of inner power, inner finesse. You are definitely in control and in charge of yourself and your surroundings. Some of you might be dealing with a Leo person. The Strength card is the tarot card for Leos. So there's a Leo in play in this reading. And the Strength card is basically a symbol of someone who has a lot of inner strength, a lot of inner prowess, a lot of inner knowing, and that you're able to basically influence situations or those around you just by the power of the way that you are, right? The way that you handle them, the way that you deal with them. It's a subtle sort of control. It's a subtle sort of power, right? It's kind of like the thing where it's like it's like you're the puppet it's like you're the puppet master, and you're definitely basically pulling the strings without anybody really even knowing that you are, right? And so this is kind of like the energy that you are embodying this month. I'm going to pull a clarifier for that because I'm kind of interested, want to get a little bit more direction in terms of what it is that you have this subtle control and this power over. The clarification cards that I'm using for the spread is the Grand Tableau Lenormand deck, and the cards that came out to clarify the Strength card is the Fish card, the Mouse card, and the Ship. The presence of the ship is kind of like a journey. It's about journey. It's about exploration. It's about, potentially going on a trip, traveling, but it can mean like a long distance relationship, a long distance situation that you might be kind of like, trying to handle or manage, right? Or it could be a sense of a journey that you're trying to take with someone that is going to benefit you financially. The Fish card is a symbol of finances, of abundance. So this is like a journey or a trip that you're taking that is going to prove to be financially beneficial to you. So this could mean going somewhere, for a job, traveling for a job. Traveling a distance for something, but the distance that you're traveling, whatever that distance might be, is a financially beneficial situation for you. There's a cost to it, but there's also a lot of value to it as well. The presence of the mouse is actually kind of interesting because it's a sense of when it's attached to the fish card and also the Ship card. It's a sense of decay. When you see the mouse, it's a sense of decay. So this could indicate that your sense of adventure or your spirit or the way that you might normally be is kind of decaying, and it feels like something is dying. That something related to the Strength card is dying. So you might have been exerting some sense of power and control over the situation, but that sense of power and control might be dying because there's the adventure in the situation is lost, or the financial benefit to you might be lost, and so that sense of adventure is kind of deteriorating, and that sense of or your finances might be deteriorating as a result of. Keep in mind, like I said, the Strength card is a symbol for or astrological sign of Leo. So that could mean that you have Leo in your chart, or it can mean that you are dealing with someone who is a Leo, or, this is related to that individual. What is crossing you is the Two of Pentacles. So this is an indication that you might be struggling with your finances, right? Just really trying to balance your finances, having difficulty paying bills. You might be stretched in terms of like your time, how much time you have to offer to something. It feels like you're kind of like split between two things. And so there's a feeling here that you need to learn how to prioritize what's important, and kind of like fluctuate with the moving of the way that your time or your scheduling might be. And so I feel like you have like a lot of priorities that you're kind of like juggling. And so that is crossing you in terms of your ability to still have this, subtleness and really control over the dynamic of a situation, because you're juggling so much, right? What are you juggling? Let's take a look at that. The clarification for the Two of Pentacles is the Scythe, the Tower, and the Ship. So the ship is back again, right? Again, this is an indication of like a trip, a journey, kind of like going off somewhere. And it's the Scythe here is an indication of like a swift and a swift ending. And the Tower here is an indication of like solitude, so of being by yourself. So basically, you're juggling what feels like emotions and fear about something coming to a swift ending, or being by yourself. So this might be pertaining to a relationship, where you feel like you are juggling the feelings that you might be having about the relationship or the stability of the relationship, and also being alone or being by yourself. So it feels like you're trying to basically slowly kind of push things in the direction that you want to avoid being alone. And so the journey and the trip is obviously about being in a relationship, right? So that's the journey. So you want to have a journey with someone, and you don't want to be alone. Okay. In the past, the card that comes out for you in the past position is the Moon card. And so this is an indication that some secrets or something was revealed to you. It's also an indication that you might have been suppressing your emotions, not necessarily wanting to deal with feelings that come up, not really trusting your intuition. So, basically you might be getting like, you might have been getting messages and signs and symbols that you might not have been paying attention to, or you really were unable to like kind of like decipher what the messages meant. Definitely want to pull a clarifier for that, which the clarifying cards is the Heart, the Cross, and the Tree. And so this is definitely a matter of the heart. This is a past love situation that basically felt like, it's like a family dynamic, or someone that feels like family. It's definitely someone that you had love or have love and affection for, but it felt like it was a bit of a burden to you, or it felt like you were suffering as a result of the relationship, right? Spirit doesn't feel it fit to reveal anything more outside of that. So we'll see what the rest of the cards say. But yes, this is definitely kind of like dealing with, past hurt from a relationship that left you feeling like you were burdened, right? And some of this burden could be dealing with like finances, financial obligations, financial responsibilities, because again, with the Strength card, there is a sense here that this trip that you're trying to take really is financially beneficial to you, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting from that. In the conscious, the card that is coming out is the Page of Swords. In your conscious mind, you might be really focused on studying, going back to school, really learning as much as you can, really developing new ways of communication, just trying to acquire as much knowledge and information as you can. Pulling clarifiers for that. The clarification cards that came out is the child card, the book card, which makes sense because we're talking about like studies, and the book card is like an indication of your studies. The stork, the snake, and the cloud. So the cloud is an indication that there is a little bit of confusion. So there can be confusion regarding your studies, confusion regarding transformation or the way that things are changing, the way that things might be going, and also a little bit of confusion about your desires, and confusion. There's confusion here as a result of manipulation, right? The snake is kind of like a indication of like manipulation, of like a little bit of a crafty type of movement, and so this is also double down with the effect of this childlike innocence. So for some of you, you might have a child that is like kind of like struggling with school, and not, and so that is a factor. But then also, if you are in school, or if you deal with someone who is in school, there's a little bit of confusion regarding that person. But there's also an indication here that you're kind of confused about the way that this situation is progressing, your knowledge of this person or your knowledge of the situation. You're confused about it, right? You might not be too sure about what you know, even though you are exuding a sense of confidence here with the Strength card. I feel like under the surface of it all, you might not be as confident as you're projecting that you are, because I think that you are a little bit shaky about where this is going, right? In the subconscious of this reading, the card that came out is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is like an indulgent, abundant energy, right? This is a card that embodies basically kind of like being able to live comfortably, to be able to live well, to be able to kind of like reap the benefits of your hard work, and really just be able to kind of like enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? Nine of Pentacles energy is right next to the Ten of Pentacles energy, which is being in a situation where you're financially abundant, financially stable. And so that feels like the energy that you're kind of like working up towards. But right now, I feel like you're really kind of like enjoying the fruits of your labor and your hard work. And the card that comes out in the position of the near future is the Ace of Wands in reverse. And the Ace of Wands in reverse is an indication that something that you might have been working on, whether it be a creative project, something new that you were, taking kind of interest in, has kind of like, I don't want to say fallen to the wayside, but I feel like there's some like distractions or some delays associated with getting this thing to the finish line, right? This is the energy of feeling like you have started the work on something, but it's like you can't really figure out how to really make it real, right? So while you're putting in the energy, I feel like you might be a little bit distracted with it. And so it's like you can't really necessarily get it to the end. And so there's like a little bit of a delay. Again, this could be a relationship. This could be, a job opportunity or a creative project that you're working on. But it feels like it's conceived in the mind. But like the energy and effort is kind of like dwindling in terms of being able to like really manifest this on a physical plane. And I feel like the discrepancy here with the at the subconscious level, you're trying to create this thing here, and trying to be in a state of luxury, but not being able to complete it. I feel like this is like a weird bridge, right? So I want to do clarifications for the Ace of Wands. So the clarification for the Ace of Wands is the Key card, the Anchor card, and the Fish card. So the Key card is really an opening, kind of like being open about something, particularly in the aspects of finances, again, which is the Fish card. This is like talking about finances finances. So there is the key and the fish and the anchor, which is basically an indication here that whatever it is that you were working on in terms of like where it's being attributed to your financial abundance or your finances. I feel like you might be open about that. You're really trying to develop some sense of stability with the anchor here. And so whatever it is that you were working on in terms of like the Ace of Wands energy is like a beginning, a new idea, something that you're putting your energy into. It's coming, it's being delayed, or there's distractions associated with it due to the fact that like this information might be coming out about the finances. So there's a revelation about the finances being open. So opening up your finances or information about your finances kind of coming out. But also there's a delay attached to this level of stability in the finances for you. So it feels like, okay, if this is you, if we're talking about you, the way that you're looking at this is that your finances or your financial, whatever the key was to securing your financial stability, that is being delayed, if that makes sense, right? And if this is outside of you, I feel like with someone that you're dealing with feels that way about you, right? So the next card is the indication of the actions that you're taking, and that is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse can mean a couple of things. So first, there's an indication here that, again, with the Two of Pentacles, is a juggling of your finances. And so you want to be aware of your finances because you might be overspending. You might be losing money. There's a sense here that you could, if you are waiting on like a job offer or, some sort of money to be given to you, that might be delayed. Or you're worried about losing it. So if it's like a job offer, you might not necessarily get it, or there's like a delay with the processing of that or getting you the finances that you want. In terms of like this manifestation energy that was here with the Ace of Wands in reverse, this is also an indication of some sort of like a financial delay, right? All those cards related to the Ace of Wands, we're talking about finances. So there's like basically your money is being affected in some sort of way, right? So it could be like direct money to you, or it just could mean that the opportunity to get money might be delayed, or kind of there's like an interference with your finances in that way. The clarification for the Ace of Pentacles in reverse is the Rider, the Clouds, and the Scythe. And so the Rider is an indication that someone is going to be coming in, or it's like a swift message. So it's definitely like a visitor, someone that you might have known in your past, or that you've known for a while, but they kind of come back in, or it could be a new person, but it's someone coming in to deliver a message that is going to put a little bit of confusion on the situation. So it's like a confusing messages, or it causes confusion, and the result of that message is this is a swift ending. The scythe is an indication of like a swift end. So something is cut, right? But this could also indicate a sort of accident. But it's also, so be mindful of accidents, but like it's also like a sudden message that comes in, particularly from this Rider fellow. This person does not stay around. They're literally in and they're out. They're in to deliver their message, but they cause a bunch of confusion with their arrival. And so that is the result of this loss, this financial loss that you might be incurring, is due to this like mixed information and this mixed message that causes a lot of confusion by someone who kind of comes in and leaves, right? In the position of outside influences that are also affecting this dynamic and the situation is the Chariot in reverse. And the Chariot in reverse is very similar to the Strength card in terms of the fact that like the Strength card is talking about like internal will, and the Chariot card is talking about like external will, right? So it's about the external activities and actions that you're taking to progress and to move forward. They're the actual steps that you're doing, as opposed to the Strength card, which is about the inner subtle under on low key type activity. So both of those on the board. So this is like a definite will to kind of bring something into fruition and to make something happen. But with the Chariot card here in reverse, it looks like that is like a slowdown. So towards the bottom half of the board, we're having like a indication here that whatever it is that you're trying to physically will into being is going to be kind of like delayed. It's going to be kind of facing a little bit of a issue with like information coming in from outside person that causes a bunch of confusion. So there's like a general delay. This person that's coming in, the Chariot card is the card for Cancer. And so that person could be a Cancer. There's also the idea with the Moon card that there's a Pisces person and there's also a Gemini person on the board with the Page of Swords. So I don't know how these people are factoring into the equation. The Pisces is in the past. The Leo is current. But the Chariot, which is the Cancer card, is an outside person, or just like I said, overall energy that's happening that is definitely affecting the situation. So some of this might be your own will. Like you might not want to actively put the work in to kind of manifest whatever it is that you're working on into reality. Some of you might be distracted. There was a sense of like distraction that came out earlier, where you might be having mixed feelings about something moving forward. And so that might be the outside factor. But ultimately there is like a there is a Cancer on the board. So if you have a Cancer person that is kind of like in the mix, then you know that they are definitely influencing the situation in some way. The Chariot is being clarified by the tree, the dog, and the coffin. So some of this is related to the dog is a symbol of, like it could be like a pet, or it could be like a companion, a friend that you've known for a long time, right? With the tree, it's like a grounded type of connection. It might be, a family member that's been around for a long time, but there's some sort of illness or death that's attached to this dynamic. And so there could be an outside person who passes away. Like I said, it could be a connection with a pet, or it could be some sort of ancestral connection. The dog is like a symbol of like loyalty, lasting friendships, deep connection, but it could also be like a sick pet. And so that will differ for several of you in different ways. So depending on how this is playing out in your life, either one of those, there's some sort of sickness or illness attached to this, which is the reason why there is a delay. And again, this could also be a Cancer individual that's in this mix as well. In the position of your hopes and your fears is the Lovers card in reverse. And so this is basically the Lovers in reverse. So we have a connection that's ending, a relationship that's coming to an end. For some of you, it could just be imbalance within a relationship, whether that be romantic or otherwise. There's like a real strong sense of like romance here, and so that could be like the end of a romantic situation, or just imbalance with the situation, or just a misalignment with your goals and your based on your actions and what you actually say and what you actually do. So I feel like it's like falling out of grace with someone. I feel like that is like your biggest fear. Obviously, your dream would be to have this type of dynamic in your life. And so it feels like that is kind of delayed. If that is, what it is that you've been working towards, there's like a delay with that. Again, the Lovers card is Gemini energy again. And so that, some of you could be in a relationship with a Gemini as well. The clarification for the Lovers in reverse is the tree again, the whip, and the book. And so I kind of feel like a lot of this misalignment, delay energy definitely has to do with some health issues and some health concerns here. The tree card is coming out again, which can also talk about a connection, a deep connection, but it's also talking about like health. And with the book card here, we're talking about potentially going to get health examinations, some sort of unknown health issue that's coming up. But it can also mean realigning with yourself in terms of like going into nature and really trying to get closer and connected to nature. The whip card here, though, is a little concerning because this is the energy of some sort of abuse. And so I can understand why that would be a fear with the Lovers. I feel like you might be fearful of some sort of abusive type relationship or a relationship that results in pain. With the Tree card here and the Whip card, this is like I said, the energy of like a physical or emotional type of abuse, which is a little concerning, but there needs to be a realignment of your internal values and your internal direction in terms of what is lining up with your values and what it is that you want for your life, and to make the decisions that you need to do to kind of bring your life back into alignment. Okay. The final outcome is represented here by the 10 of Wands. So whenever we see 10s on the board, we understand that something is coming to an end. Something is kind of closing out. And the 10 of Wands is an indication that someone is like feeling overburdened and overwhelmed, feeling like you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. And as a result, it feels like you're moving away from a situation. So this could be like a physical move. You're moving away from your space, moving someone else. There was the idea before of traveling. So, you might be having to leave and go someplace else away. I don't know if it's vacation or just to kind of handle some of these dynamics that are coming up in terms of health and sickness. So you might be having to move away from the situation due to that, right? That could be a physical move, but it can also be a non-physical move where you are just putting emotional distance between you and someone else, right? The clarification for the 10 of Wands in reverse is the Rider again, the female card, and also the Star card. So the Star card is your card, Aquarius. And so you could be a female that is an Aquarius who, based on this information that the Rider, because the Rider is showing up again, the Rider is bringing information in that's basically the result or the cause of ultimately moving on or having an ending regarding this particular situation. So, whatever it is that is going on in your life, you apply it as you see fit. Like I said, the Star card is a female that could, again, is Aquarius, but also could just be really kind of wishing and hoping for a particular outcome and a particular dynamic. Specifically, I'm really seeing like the Lovers element on the board, or just, trying to create a life where you're not necessarily lonely, but you have someone to share it with. I feel like you are kind of like ready for that. But whatever this information is that the Rider comes in and brings with is the catalyst kind of for a little bit of a delay in the situation if it works out. There's definitely some delays. There's definitely a lack of stability lost in this equation. Like I said, again, the Rider could be a female. There's no real specificity in terms of gender. The Rider could be a female as presented here with the woman card. But the Rider could also be male. And if the Rider is male, then the woman that the information is coming about is a female Aquarius, or it could be a male Aquarius, but I see female Aquarius. So, that is the end of the reading, and I'm going to go ahead and pull advice cards for you. The advice cards are coming from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle card deck. And the first card that comes out for you guys is Animal Guardian, which says to trust your instincts. Trust the powerful animal spirit within to learn more about yourself and your talents. The Animal Guardian is the card that represents the angels of the animal kingdom. Animals are angels of nature who have incredible lessons to offer and medicine that can support you on your spiritual journey and help you survive some of your greatest challenges. When you connect with the energies of animals, you can learn a lot about yourself and the earth. You also have instinctive animal energy within that can direct you towards everything you need and more. The Animal Gardening card represents depicts a tribal angel being held and supported by her animals. She has a love for them and they have a love for her, demonstrating how incredibly connected nature is with the spiritual realms. You have a powerful animal within that can be wild, protective, instinctive, and even calm. Animals don't second guess how they feel, they just express it, and you can learn from that. When this card arises, it's important to connect with how you really feel, how you want to feel, and what you really need. Take the time to connect with your animal energy and express it naturally. Let even the fiercest energy move through you before returning to your normal or your natural state. It will teach you a lot about your gifts and how you can grow. And I don't know why, like this dog keeps coming up, right? Like animal energy, the dog. So ultimately there's a sense here to learn from the way that your dog acts in terms of their sense of loyalty or the way that they navigate, because you can learn lessons from your dog or your pets, that you might have. So that's an interesting, advice card. The second advice card for you guys is the Knight card. It says, "Be brave and honest. Do the right thing, even if it isn't the easiest option. Stand for what you know to be right and true." The knight is a knight in shining armor, dedicated to the crown that his sword defends. In this sense, he is the protector of the Holy Grail and therefore of your spiritual growth and expansion. He represents the warrior in you. Whether you are male or female, that energy is within you. His sword and armor show he is courageous and strong, but if you look closely, you will see that he has a tear running down his face, showing his willingness to be vulnerable and his love for what he protects. The energy of respect is important right now. You are being encouraged to figure out what is important to you and what you stand for. If you are in a space where there is opposition, you are being guided to follow through with integrity, because even if it seems this will slow your progress, your rewards will be much more abundant. You are being surrounded by a light of bravery to help you. This card also brings justice. If you are longing for justice, please know that universal energies are working to bring everything back into order and that you don't need to force anything through with your will. If you have made any mistakes recently, it's important to take ownership of them so that you can align yourself with improving the situation. If you are feeling the need to defend your spiritual path at this time, back down and let it protect you. So again, there is an energy here, like I said, of loyalty, but ultimately doing what is right. And so, you heard the message of the card. This could be you. This could be someone in your circle. But I do feel like this message is for you. So, sometimes you just have to do what is right. And even if you feel like that's going to delay your progress, like the card says, it'll all work out the way that it's supposed to. Okay? And this is the end of the reading. Please like the video, share your comments and thoughts below. Also share the video with a friend who you feel could benefit from the message here today. Like the video and subscribe to the channel again and hit the bell for post notifications. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you listening, and I will see you soon.